welcome to RVN TV's Morning Coffee. I'm Krista Smolda, and I'm here today to educate you. Spreading awareness on topics is very important to me. That's why I do what I do. I love this vehicle to be able to do that. I want to talk today about breast implants. So I think if you go back 10 years ago, right, that's when people started saying, oh, I'm going to get breast implants. Today, it's very mainstream for women to go and get breast implants. I'm an advocate of women going out and doing what they need to do or want to do to make themselves feel better, whether they get Botox, whether they're getting their lips done. And I've said at one point, hey, you know what, if I'm in a position when I'm older, if I've got the money, I'll get breast implants, right? I won't now, okay, because I met someone named Hopko, and she is here with me today, and she is an implant illness survivor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad that I met you, because I think that I'm going to help you to spread this whole thing of what you're doing, because what I heard from you yesterday shocked me. I mean, it shocked me. Now, there are some women that know about it, but I think there's far more that don't.
Correct.
And so you're on a mission to kind of tell your story, educate people like you educated me, and are going to educate people soon on this show. But I want you to do me a favor and take me back to 2012. What was your life like? What were you doing? And then sort of the series of events that led you through this journey.
Okay, so back in 2012, I was a mom of 2 young girls, and busy wife and just working. And we all want something more, right? So it was like, what else can I do? To challenge myself and to feel good about myself. So I decided to take up the gym with my husband. So it was something that we really enjoyed doing together. We lifted weights, and I decided I wanted to go even further with it. Yep. So my husband said to me, well, you could compete in figure competitions. Well, I said, what is that? So he took me to a show, and I saw the women up there in their shiny bikinis and the lights and all of that, and I thought, oh yeah, I want to do this. So I found a coach. Actually, my husband found the coach for me, and we trained, and I worked my butt off, and I competed.
You look
and
amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that was after 2 kids, so I'm pretty proud of that. And I really enjoyed doing it. Yeah. So the first year was great. It was a lot of fun. I kept it fun. I got a little cranky when I was hungry, but I kept it fun. The second year was definitely more competitive, and it became a little bit more popular, so there was a lot more people doing it.
Yes.
You got to be real tan when you're up on that stage. So one of the things that you had to step out of your comfort zone, because you had to go in and get your whole self tanned, and you had to be naked doing it. Yeah. And so I would be in a room full of women, and we would all be doing the same thing.
That's how they do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
they do. Sometimes it's behind a backdrop, and other times you're just kind of like cattle, just moving along. Yeah. And I just remember standing there with my hands over my head so they could do the underside of my armpits, and I thought, wow, everyone here has boobs except for me. And it just kind of started to play inside my head. I just thought maybe I would feel more confident with them. Maybe I'd feel more like a woman with them. There was never any outside influences that made me feel like I needed to get them. It was me, and it was something that I just wanted to do, and I thought it'll never happen because I don't have the money and I don't have this or that. So I competed until 2014, and after that we talked about it, my husband and I talked about it, and I said, do you think it's something that we could make work? And he said, yeah, if you want to do it, we'll do it.
That's a good husband.
He is. He is. He went and researched everything for me. Yeah. And here we were.
Tell me about the research you did, to the extent of what you.
Right. I mean, he when he wants to research something, he digs. Yeah. And so I had no doubt that he was going to find me the best doctor, the best implants, everything. And I totally trusted the process because I knew he was looking into it. Right.
But you made sure that, okay, can breast implants cause cancer? Like, you asked those questions.
I did. I went to 3 different doctors, one being the plastic surgeon that put them in. So granted, he's going to have a skewed view. Yeah. But I went to 2 different gynecologists, and they both said, no, they're perfectly safe. You're not at risk for anything. So, you know, we both felt confident that that's, you know, that was going to be a good decision for me. And so that's what we went ahead and he found a doctor who was great, came recommended, and we wanted to get teardrop implants. They give you more of a natural look. You know, I didn't want anything sitting real high and looking looking really fake. So we went with the teardrop implants. And when you have a teardrop implant, because it has that shape, they recommend that you do like a textured surface so that it stays in place. And so that's what we went ahead with. And we spent, I think, $2,000 extra for the texture.
So teardrop textured implants.
And silicone is what I had.
Silicone. That was in 2015.
That was in April of 2015 was my surgery.
Successful surgery.
Successful surgery. I remember waking up, I felt like I had an elephant sitting on my chest. Everything felt very heavy to me, and I thought, well, this must be what it feels like, to have the surgery and to have breasts. And but I slowly began to notice that that heavy feeling never really went away. And so, so the surgery was successful, but immediately...
I was going to say, what started to happen to you and how soon?
So I felt as though it might have been anesthesia. Now, I'd had anesthesia before. I've had 2 C-sections to have my girls.
Me too.
I had a umbilical hernia surgery. So this wasn't my first rodeo. But something felt different to me. It felt as though I never fully came out of the anesthesia, never fully recovered from the surgery itself. So I kind of attested it to, well, maybe all the bodybuilding that I had done, I'm just starting to get a little bit tired. Maybe my adrenal glands had kind of, been affected by all of the bodybuilding. It takes a lot of a diet, a heck of a diet to do. So I was thinking maybe I affected myself that way. So the fatigue began to set in right away, pretty much. I started to feel like a chronic fatigue. I didn't have the energy that I had. I loved being in the gym, like I said, and little by little, my husband would go to the gym and I would back away. I can't today. I just don't have the energy. I just don't have it. And when I did go, I had no strength to be there.
And it's not like you were an unhealthy person going in that ate poorly or whatever. So energy was something that you always had because of the lifestyle that you led.
Just because I stopped bodybuilding, I never stopped eating clean. I was always watching
your
what
energy
I was
never
eating. No, nothing like that. So it was definitely atypical for me to be feeling this way. And so I just, I never really attested it to the implants right away because everything came on kind of gradually and, you just don't put 2 and 2 together right away.
What else besides fatigue?
So, of course, you have follow-ups with your doctor, right? So my plastic surgeon, he's a reputable guy. He did the job that I asked him to do, and he did it well. And he watched out for me, he did all my follow-up appointments. But right after my month appointment, he was feeling around in my armpit area, and he noted that there was swelling in my lymph nodes. So he checked both sides, and he kind of motioned over to the nurse, to jot down that there was swelling. It's called lymphadenopathy, and there's swelling in the lymph nodes. And I said, "What's that?" It made me a little nervous, right? Because you think swollen lymph nodes equals something wrong with you. So he said... Is
that a side effect of implants?
It is. I know that it is now. I didn't know it then.
Okay.
So he said, it's nothing to worry about. It's nothing to worry about. It's probably just your body saying, oh, we had surgery and now we just need to kind of calm down from that. Well, month 2 checkup, they were still swollen. 6 months checkup, they were still swollen. And he could see the worry in my face. And I said, I don't understand why. And he said, well, your body is recognizing that these are foreign objects and it's trying to protect you from that. And it was the first time that anyone had ever referred to my breast implants as foreign objects. I don't know why I never thought of that before, but I hadn't. And even in all the research that my husband, Matt, did to find the best doctor and the best implants, nothing ever popped up on the internet about foreign objects or becoming ill or any of that. So if you didn't know what questions to ask, you wouldn't have found the information that you needed to be aware. So I was very nervous. I was very nervous about the fact that my lymph nodes were swollen. But I tried to enjoy my new figure.
Yeah.
Everybody likes curves, right? So it was nice, and I enjoyed, you know, filling out a dress and a t-shirt, and it was fun. But there was just an underlying continual fatigue and anxiety set in real bad.
Anxiety, okay.
Anxiety. That was the other thing that I noticed, was anxiety and depression. I don't think I let on as bad as it had gotten. Probably my husband would be the only one that knew how bad. But it had gotten to the point where I didn't want to leave the house without him. I felt like almost uncomfortable to go anywhere. I just didn't feel...
And that's not you.
That's not
I
me.
mean, you're in a bikini competition doing this, right?
Right.
So outgoing, extrovert.
Yes.
And you suddenly become...
I suddenly become totally introverted and not wanting... I was like a hermit. I was happy on my couch, just being home, feeling safe and secure. And so in turn, that then had, you know, I had depression as well.
Did you then have to take medication for the anxiety and depression? I'm just curious.
I chose not to.
Good.
Because, you know, we all try to do things as naturally as we can.
Not everyone, but yes, that's very good.
Yes,
you
not
did
everyone.
That.
And so I decided not to, but I had gone to the doctors, and I had been to several doctors and said, I just feel very tired. I was tested for Lyme disease. That came out negative. I went to the gynecologist again and said, I'm so tired and something's not right. And she said, you know, it could be perimenopause, you could be, and I was like, but I'm 36.
Oh God, yeah, no, so, it's not that, no. Too early.
You know, so I just kind of kept forging on.
Were you diagnosed with, okay, you're diagnosed with anxiety, depression maybe, but were you diagnosed with any other like autoimmune diseases?
No.
Okay.
No, and no one ever mentioned autoimmune disease until the very end of my illness.
Okay.
So I would say that the worst was last year, 2017. I wasn't really able to be at work all the time. I was constantly calling out, taking off because I just felt sick. And I had a ton of doctor's appointments to go to.
Right.
My heart, I was having such heart palpitations that I couldn't sleep at night. The anxiety got so bad that the panic attacks would wake me up at night. And my husband works midnights, so I'd be home sitting at the kitchen table alone thinking, I think he's gonna think I'm crazy if I call him.
Right.
But do I call 911? What do I do?
Yeah.
I just felt as though my body was in a constant state of fight or flight.
And tell me, we have to take a break, but before we go, I just want to talk about what happened with your face with the acne.
So I would say immediately the acne began. I started to get acne on my chin. And then slowly I started to try to treat it with dermatologist after dermatologist, and no one could do anything to fix what was happening. And even when I'd go on a round of antibiotics, it would get worse after I'd come off of them. And so I kind of gave up, and I was in so much pain with my face daily that I would come home from work at night and put ice packs on my face because it was swollen and burning.
Oh. All right, we have to take a break.
Okay.
So now that we kind of have that story, when we come back, we're going to talk about how you finally made the discovery, which no other doctor could do, or gynecologist, or anyone, right, as to what was actually wrong with you. So we'll be right back after the break.
Thank you.
Is your business growing and now you need a new and bigger building? Has your organization outgrown their facility and now it's time to expand?
Do your hobbies require the need for more space?
If you're paying rent, but now you want the advantages of owning, the prospect of financing, construction, and on-time completion may seem out of your reach. General Steel Corporation has the answer. A pre-engineered steel building from the General will not only look great and satisfy almost any need, but you'll save time and money. Our team will help you create your building and deliver it to your location. We offer design services to help you present your concept to board members, bankers, or for fundraising. And the General can even help with financing. General Steel is a name you know, with quality backed by a 50-year structural warranty. Call today and find out how easy it is to have the building you want. You may even save up to $20,000 with rebates. If you need space, you need the General.
Seniors, want peace of mind and a free prescription discount card? Keep listening. Are you age 85 or younger? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from Final Expense Direct Insurance Services. The average funeral now costs over $7,000, and the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. Our senior plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam, and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled as long as you make your premium payments. Get your free information about our senior plans. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone. Plus, call right now and you'll receive a free prescription discount card.
Call 855-223-7661. That's 855-223-7661. 855-223-7661.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm Krista Smolda here with Tara Hopko, breast implant illness survivor, or we can say just implant illness survivor. And Tara just went through her story of how she decided to get breast implants and experienced, just from the time that the surgery occurred, a lot of unhealthy situations and sickness. And we're at the point now where you're pretty much at your wit's end. Anxiety, depression, acne, painful. How did you discover, right, that this could be from implants and that there is such a thing as implant illness?
Okay, so we talked about the acne.
Yeah.
And I would say that I had enough doctors tell me I was just anxious, busy mom, that I probably would have let it go for a lot longer had I not had the constant reminder every time I looked in the mirror. So I feel as though now, looking back, that the acne almost saved my life.
Yeah.
Because it was that constant visual. Something's not right. So I went back to the dermatologist again, a different one, and I said, she did an allergy test for me. So she put 80 patches on my back of all different things that I could possibly be allergic to. I had to wear it for 3 days, and on the 5th day she read the report, and it said that I was allergic to thimerosal, which she explained was a mercury-based product. She said, this isn't an allergy you were born with, this is something that you've acquired from overexposure. So driving home that day, I thought, how could I have been exposed to mercury? So I started looking up what's in my breast implants, because I just thought, what if, right? What if I'm not crazy here?
Right.
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find what was in my breast implants. As hard as I looked on the internet, that information,
there's so much information out there,
pop up. And it was almost like
the government-controlled internet.
Yes, they do not want you to know.
No. And if someone puts something up there, it's going to come down really fast.
Yes, it's true. So I kind of put it on the back burner and thought, all right, I'm going to let it go. Christmas morning, I woke up and I couldn't walk. I had the most excruciating hip pain that I've ever had in my life. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit, I couldn't sleep. I asked my husband to take me to the emergency room. They did an x-ray, which was inconclusive. They had me go to an orthopedist who did an MRI and said, are you sure you didn't have an accident? Are you sure you didn't fall? I said, no, nothing, I woke up like this. So he said, here's some anti-inflammatories, I want you to take them. If they don't work, come back in a week. I took the anti-inflammatories for a week. Not only did it help my hip, but my acne cleared completely.
In a week.
In a week. And I thought, well, that is the strangest thing. So I began to research autoimmune issues, anti-inflammatory acne, and once I entered, I believe it was breast implants and autoimmune disease, I came upon this website called Healing Breast Implant Illness. And it was the best and the worst day of my life. Yep. Because I finally had the answers that I needed. Yeah. But I was devastated. Yeah. Because this meant I was going to have to potentially have a surgery again, take out the implants that were supposed to be giving me this confidence. Yes. They hadn't, but they were supposed to. Right. So I went to the doctor with my husband. We have the same primary doctor, and This is the funny thing about implant illness. You don't see it in your blood work. Typically, if it's at the very beginning stages, it's not going to show up. So you look perfect on paper. So everybody's telling you
Everything's fine.
everything's fine. So the doctor turns to Matt and I and he says, your blood work looks great. How are you feeling? And I said, I'm dying.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and I said, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I think my breast implants are making me sick. And he looked at me and said, I don't think you're crazy. He said, I think you could be absolutely right. He said, I have tested you for everything. I had been for EKGs, stress tests. I had been for carotid artery ultrasounds because I was having throat pain and silent reflux and all of these tests. And he said, I don't know what else it could be. He said, but now you need to make the decision as to whether or not you want to take them out because that's the only way to know if that's what's causing this.
It
He
is.
said, there's no test.
Process of elimination.
Right, he said, there's no test for you to say, oh, yep, it's your implants making you ill. So you have to have some faith here.
So other than you and your husband, Matt, saying, yeah, let's do this, you found a group of women that
Yes,
I
so
guess
through the
allows you
website-
to realize, hey, it probably is this.
Yeah, so through the website, I found the Facebook group that's called Breast Implant Illness and Healing by Nicole.
Okay.
Nicole is a woman who suffered from breast implant illness, went through the same stuff that I'm telling you I went through.
Yeah.
Same doctors telling her that she was just a busy mom and all of that. So she went ahead, I believe 2005, she explanted and she had her implants taken out and didn't have them replaced with anything, and she began to heal. And healing is a process, right?
Yeah.
So for anything. But for this, it's also a detoxification process because now we've got all of these chemicals that are running through our bloodstream, and we've messed with all of our systems, our adrenal glands and our thyroid and hormones. It's messed with all of those systems. So now you have to go through this detox process.
Yes.
Well, Nicole decided that she wanted to start a group to support all the women like me going through this where they could find answers because we were not getting the answers from the doctors in the
And
medical
what
field.
year did you join that group? There was 35,000 women?
There was at the time 35,000 women when I joined in January of this year, 2018.
Okay.
And as of today, I believe there's 52,000.
So
we
right there.
pray for each other. We have, I think, about 100 women who explant every month, and there's an ongoing list.
Yes, support.
And it's a huge, huge support. I spent most of my time on there, but I saw these women having the surgery, getting well, and feeling better and getting their life back. And I
Yes.
thought, I have to do this.
So you do it.
So
You
I
get
do
the
it.
explant. Let's talk about how quickly you were able to start to see some positive results from the explant.
So my explant was on May 4th of 2018, this year. My doctor is out of Doylestown, PA, so he wanted me to stay close by the first night. There's a risk of bleeding when
Okay.
you take your implants out because with any implant, silicone or saline, you have a capsule that forms around your implant to protect you.
I think
that
we have a
capsule-
picture of that
You have the-
capsule.
yeah.
Okay, so just tell me that again. The
So
implant goes in.
The implant
There's
goes
the
in.
picture.
Your
Okay.
body, so the capsule is the little pink on the other side. The implant is the sticky that you see with the doctor's hand on.
Okay.
And that's a ruptured silicone implant. The capsule is on the other side. And the capsule is essentially scar tissue that your body has formed because immediately it recognizes the foreign object and it wants to protect you from it. So it creates this scar capsule around it. And the most important thing for you to do when you have explant surgery is to get that capsule out. Because whatever is going on in that implant is leaching into your capsule and then into your bloodstream. Many, many plastic surgeons will try to talk women into leaving the capsule in, but it continually makes you sick because all of those toxins are sitting there in your
Yes.
body still.
Yes.
It's easier for the surgeon to leave it in. It's more complicated for them to take it out.
So they don't tell you before you get to the surgery, hey, by the way, it's a foreign object. What's going to happen is when you put it in, your body's going to form a capsule around it, and did they tell you that it can't leak too?
Yeah, no. What I was told is I had the best implants. They were lifetime devices. They were safe lifetime devices is what I was told. That I would probably never need another surgery. The only thing that may happen would be a capsular contracture, which is where that capsule that we were just
Yes.
talking about adheres so tightly and that it kind of brings your breast up here and
Oh, okay.
it's painful.
Okay.
And so then they need to do a surgery to release that or, But that I had a minor one, so I did have some pain on my left side, but it was really, you know, nothing compared to the other illness I
You
was
told
feeling.
me something before the interview about a leaching.
Yes.
Not a leaking, but a leaching.
So any implant, silicone or saline, is made up of, I believe it's 40 toxic chemicals on the outside. Doesn't matter what's in it. It does, but
Yeah.
what's on the outside is going to eventually break down over time.
Yep.
Silicone is not meant to be in a body that is 98 degrees because your body's essentially going to start breaking that down. And there's nowhere for it to go but into your bloodstream.
Yep.
So the other thing is, if you have a saline implant, a lot of times people will say saline is the safest.
Yes. I've heard
And
that.
you have a valve on a saline implant, and that valve will over time also disintegrate a little bit and it becomes faulty. So you've got your body fluids going in and you've got the saline coming out, and women are getting mold running through their bloodstreams, and they're getting so sick from the mold from these saline implants that neither is safe. All of them can break down, and of course all of them do have a chance to possibly rupture. We have many women who have ruptured before the 10 years. People will say you're safe for 10 years. Some women have had ruptures after 3, 5 years. So
How do you tell if there's a rupture? You just start to feel sick?
you can't
You can see it.
necessarily tell that there's a rupture. You can do an MRI, but not all MRIs are going to pick it up either.
Is this the moldy, can we put that back on the screen? Is that the moldy implant? Hold on one second. It looked like it had like little dots in it.
So yeah, that is a saline implant, and that is black mold inside
Oh.
of that woman's saline implant.
You get mold in your house and they tell you to leave.
Yes.
And that's in your body.
Yes, what they don't tell you is that any saline solution, if you go to the hospital and you get a saline solution, it has a 7-year shelf life. But we're leaving these saline implants in women for many, many years. And there's really no true way to know if anything has ruptured. Like I said, you can have an MRI done, but it's not always, because what happens is that capsule forms around that implant, and it looks to the MRI, it looks still like your implant
Yes.
is there.
Yep.
So they don't know until they take that implant out and they open it up and they say, oh, look, it was ruptured. So you can get sick, you can get breast implant illness, whether or not your implant is ruptured. Mine was
Yes.
not.
Right, yours
Mine
was
was
not.
not. Mine came out looking pretty much the same way as they did going in,
Right.
but I did not look the
No,
same.
no. Okay, so tell me, you're on a mission now, right?
am.
With these 50,000 women and probably many others through this group, what is the end goal, and what are some of the things that you guys are doing right now to make sure you're spreading awareness, women know before they go in the surgery what might happen, because you didn't know.
I didn't know.
You signed the paper that pretty much made you feel comfortable.
Correct.
Okay, what's the goal?
The goal is, for someone like me who's walking into the doctor's office, personally, I want them to just have a good informed consent. This is what could happen.
Right.
It's a foreign object, just so you know, and just so you know, there could be a possible autoimmune response that your body has. And so informed consent for me, I think, is the main thing that I would like to see, because I understand that there are, like you said in the beginning,
Right.
there are women who, knowing this information,
I'll
are
do
still
it.
going to choose to do this, and that's okay with me. I would never judge,
Right.
because I did it. I would
Yeah.
never judge somebody for wanting to do
Yep.
anything. But as long as you're informed, because if one person, Krista, if one person had said to me that this was a possibility, I would have said no thank you.
Exactly.
No thank you.
So what are you guys
right
doing? How do you
now-
do that? How do you get something like that passed?
Well, we're trying to get our voices heard by doing things like this.
Yes.
I'm not the only one who's trying to get out there. There's so many women, and I feel like we're all family. Most recently, on September 5th, 10 women from various support groups, plus 5 women from our breast implant associated anaplastic large cell lymphoma support group went to speak with the FDA in Washington. And they had a very successful talk with them. And I actually have a list here of what they're asking for.
Oh yeah, go right ahead, read that list.
So first of all, can I explain a little bit about what the cancer is?
Yes.
So breast implants also can cause cancer. They're right now believing that it's mostly in textured implants. So if you have textured implants, or if you have a history of ever having textured implants, you are at risk for having breast implant illness, a breast implant associated cancer.
Yes.
It's a lymphoma, so it's a cancer of the immune system. The symptoms are swelling, usually on one side. There have been some cases that are on both, but usually on one side, swelling that happens a year after implant. So all of a sudden, women will have pain, they'll have some swelling, they might even just have a rash with itching that won't go away. The swelling could come and go, they don't know. So what they need to do is they need to really go to our website, Healing Breast Implant Illness, and they need to join the support group, which is Breast Implant Illness and Healing by Nicole, and get educated, because being educated and knowledgeable is the best thing that you can do, because you need to find doctors who know about this and they can help you properly and get tested appropriately, because we're thinking that there's so many more women that probably had this cancer, and if it's caught ahead of time, if it's caught in time, explant and the getting rid of the capsules is really all you should need.
Right.
But sometimes it has spread, and there's women who need more treatment than that. So unfortunately, mastectomy patients are the majority of who are getting these textured implants, because the texture holds them in place and they don't have any of their own breast tissue. So the doctors are telling them, listen, these are going to be the ones that you need because they're going to hold them in place. So now these poor warriors have suffered breast cancer, and now they're suffering from this cancer, from the implants that were supposed to make them feel like a woman. So we had 5 women from that group go to the FDA as well.
Okay.
And so basically what we're asking for is just more public awareness, like I said.
Yes.
We want informed consent for when you go to your doctor. We'd really like textured implants to be removed from the market, because there's really no need for them right now. And also a chemical transparency. So when I looked up what's in my breast implants, I should be able to find that information.
Yes.
Or even get it when I got my implants.
Yep.
But I couldn't even find that. We're talking formaldehyde, carcinogens, we're talking mercury,
Deadly.
aluminum, everything. So we need more awareness. And we
Okay.
need the medical field to recognize this as a true
So
illness.
you want women to be able to have the consent form, you want them to be able to find, you want the ingredients of the breast implant in there, overall awareness.
And
all
just
good.
all of it.
And get those textured ones out.
Get the textured out of there. There's no need for that.
Listen, I've seen women in force, and I think it can be done.
Yes.
I'm going to help you guys.
We're loud and proud.
I'm already thinking of some friends that have like issues, and I go, oh my God, does she have breast implants? You know, so I'm already just by one, right? You're going to reach 100.
Yes.
So I am, first of all, I'm so happy that you got the explant and that you're feeling so much better.
Feeling and
you
looking
feel like
better.
a new person, right?
Yes, I do. It's amazing. I feel like a new person. It was 6 hours after my surgery that my husband looked at me and said, you have more life in you now than you have for the past 3 years.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Get them out.
I wanted to have a future. I was ready to have a future, where before I truly thought I was dying.
And I know your kids got their mom back.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that's really the best part. And
They
for you.
absolutely did. I
I'm
got my
so
life back, and I couldn't
Good.
be more grateful. So.
All right, and so that's what you were put on this earth to do, now to spread this message to all the women out there. So I'm proud of you. I think you're a warrior, and I really love women like you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad I met you, and I'm going to help you on your mission.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned on RVN TV, because we will be right back with more midday shows.